Well, there would be Mount LeConte, and there would be
Mount LeConte, Mount Washington, Glacier.
yeah, we've done that. We love it. The hills we've had to climb. I guess one of the first one that pops into my mind is when between Chuck and Stephen we lost a child, and that was not an easy thing, as so many people know. And then the fact that there was just a lot involved with that, but the losing of the child, losing of parents, just life stuff. So you have that kind of thing that we have, and we've climbed those hills hand in hand. It's not about what I've got to overcome, it's about what we overcome. And so we truly feel that our marriage is a partnership, and it is a partnership totally undergirded by God. So what other hills?
Yeah, as between the boys, when Rose did miscarriage, it was a loss for her, but it was also our loss.
Raising kids is a hill that you work on together. We have the aging parent kind of thing on both sides. We took care of Linda's mom for a while, and then my mom and dad. So those are hills we climb together. There are challenges at times, but we do it together. Sometimes we had health issues. Linda had cancer earlier, and that was a hill we climbed together. She had the brunt of that. But those are things that I think about.
My goodness, we've had some big hills.
Yeah.
Most of them have to do with our kids. So the praying for that has been...
And we're still doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still climbing those hills.
Right.
We've had some health hills to climb, some pretty tough things with that. We've had some emotional hills to climb too. Of course, if you're in ministry, there's always pain. There's always either somebody hurting or somebody has said something that really has put you down, and those can be very difficult once they're accumulated over and over and over again to overcome.
Yeah, we've had those are the hills that we've had.
You don't go through life without having
emotional,
without having some tests and some hills to climb, and that's everybody. Everybody has their own story. I had cancer surgery. The year after I had cancer surgery, one of the men in my congregation had cancer surgery. When I went to see him, he said, "I'm hurting so bad." He didn't have to tell me that. I knew. I knew where he was hurting. I knew how he was hurting. I knew what he was thinking. He didn't have to say. The benefit of having those hills to climb is that God can then use you to help somebody else who's hurting.
Well, and to be real honest, another big hill that you and I had to climb, but we did it together, was that we both were divorced. And especially for Paul, we both were left, our spouses all left us. But in the ministry for Paul, now at our age, I know now it's probably a lot different. It held him, I don't want to say it held him back, but it kept him where he was at. There were lots of churches who wanted Paul, and then when they found out he was divorced, it was, well, we don't want that. You had a failed marriage. For me, it's funny how God brought us together, because I was at a point in my life where I wanted to go into the ministry, women's ministry, because as a divorced woman in the church, you feel second class. And so we came together, and it really was a hill to not, to overcome. I guess it's a stereotype or whatever. And it's funny because people assume that because we were divorced, when couples came to us and especially wanted to talk, that we would promote divorce. And it's like, no, we know God doesn't like it. So that kind of was a hill.
It's a big hill.
So
a lot of pain there, and it was a big hill to climb.
our granddaughter battled leukemia for a year, and we were in South Carolina for a year. Practically, we lived there. We didn't move in, but we were back and forth most every week. And that's a tough hill. It's been 2 years, and it's still a tough hill. A little easier for us to talk about now, today, than a year ago, and I guess it'll be easier a year from now.
Not just the death of Allison, but the how it affects our daughter. So that would be it. We know the meaning of grief now. People are sad about things, and you have to deal with things, but grief is a whole different level.
It does tend to put things in perspective, too. Little things that you think we all get upset about, and it kind of puts them in perspective that, you know, that's just a lump in your oatmeal. It's just a bump in the road. And we are to the point that we can say thank you for all the many moments that we had. We did a lot of stuff with her, camping and biking and hiking, and so we're very thankful for those moments.